What is good, y'all? Mikey T, the movie star here. Let me just make sure my audio levels are straight. All right, cool. Yeah, I got we're doing a live video tonight, and we're going to be talking about the greatest rappers from Harlem. And also, I'm going to be talking about Machine Gun Kelly getting completely destroyed by Millyz over basically sending shots at Jack Harlow. So those are my two topics for tonight. Major shout out to Millyz because Millyz went off on this record. He actually went up to Cosmic Kevin, did a freestyle. We're going to be talking about that today. Everybody that taps in, hit the like button, drop your city and state. Let's talk about it. Millyz and Machine Gun Kelly. Look, guys, listen to me. Look, there's only 3 white rappers in the music industry. Do you hear what I'm telling you? There's 3. 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Or like the Jamaicans would say, tree. There's only 3 white rapper them men. So why y'all beefing with each other? Why did MGK diss Eminem? Why did MGK diss Eminem? They're white. They should have done a song together. That's what everybody expected. Machine Gun Kelly blew it. Put up a stupid tweet about Eminem's daughter, Haley. Blew his whole opportunity, allegedly. Eminem says that's not true. Guys, we're talking tonight. We're talking about Dipset. But right now, first topic, Machine Gun Kelly versus Millyz. Why did MGK diss Jack Harlow? Why? Listen, there's no need, and I get it. You know what I mean? There's no need for this shit, man. There's no need for MGK to feel some type of a way. Yo, what up, neighborhood all-star? What's poppin', G's? Hit that like button if you're in here. Drop your city and state. Hit that like button, y'all. I'm going to smoke this good kush. I'm going to smoke this good kush. I'm going to drink this Red Bull. I'm going to smoke this good kush. Because the whole world's talking about Juelz, Cam. Jim Jones had quite a bit to say. And we all know what happened with Jimmy, Mase, Cam back in the day. We've all heard all the radio conversations where Jim Jones called up the radio station and cussed Mase out. You know what I mean? Or Pastor Mase at that point in time. Now, Machine Gun Kelly and Millyz went back and they didn't actually go back and forth. What happened was Machine Gun Kelly dissed Jack Harlow. I'm going to go over some of the bars. Then I'm going to give my thoughts because that's what I do, you guys. I don't think these guys should be dissing each other personally. I don't think so. It's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent. 50 beefs with everybody. Why? I guess you could say it was because numbers don't lie. I say that to say this, man. The whole shit is really dumb if that's what it's about. If it's about generating interest on the internet, that's dumb and I don't respect it. You know what I mean? Everybody is looking at it from a perspective of what type of clout chasing shit is this? Because let's be real. Let's be real. When it comes to all these guys, Machine Gun Kelly, Eminem, Machine Gun Kelly, dissing Jack Harlow, it's not real beef. Who's going to die because of this beef? Tell me who. Nobody. Nobody, baby. Nobody is going to die over this beef. It's WWF beef, basically. It's just WWF beef. I don't like it because Millyz is obviously cooking this guy, Machine Gun Kelly. You know what I mean? Millyz is cooking MGK. You know what I mean? It's just completely obvious that MGK can't even keep up. You know what I mean? Listen to me. Millyz is like Dave East compared to MGK. And I just wonder, what Eminem thinks of this. Eminem is probably laughing like, Millyz got in your ass, homie. Eminem is probably just standing back and smiling. You know what I mean? It was dope to see Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, actually drop the release date for Millyz's new project, Holy Water. You know what I mean? They're actually from the same area. Mark Wahlberg recognizes someone from his own city, and he's not hating. He doesn't view Millyz as competition. He's going to shout him out. He's going to be like, yo, he's from my town. But Millyz too, honestly, I think leaving Mase was the best thing for him. Coming out to New York, he had so many opportunities. And when he left Mase, people looked at him like he was unique. You get what I'm saying? Interest peaks when you leave sometimes. So listen, Machine Gun Kelly got cooked. He got cooked just for dissing Jack Harlow. Millyz said some crazy shit, man. I'm going to go over it. Millyz said, white rapper tried to block me in the industry. I believe him. I believe him. I believe him. Machine Gun Kelly tried to block Millyz in the industry? Let's look at the past. Millyz took a picture with Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly obviously knew who Millyz was. I seem to remember my guy, Lil Johnny from OBH, having an issue with Machine Gun Kelly as well. Getting blocked in the industry. I believe Millyz. I believe him, and it's because it's that same mentality. MGK has that mentality of it's me, it's only me, and Eminem. MGK is thinking in his head, it's only me and Eminem. Yep, he thought that in his head. And what? He's like, oh, there can't be three of us now. Jack Harlow? He's like the Jack Harlow guy? He's like the Jack Harlow guy. So that's why Machine Gun Kelly wanted to take a shot at Jack Harlow. He thought to himself something like, there can't be room for three of us. You know, MGK didn't want to throw him a bone early on in his career. But look what happened. He didn't need to. He didn't need to. And not only that, but Drake likes working with people that don't have all the shine on them already. You know what I mean? Look what Drake did. Drake said A.R.Rab's name, and A.R.Rab didn't have all the shine on him. Let's be real. Guys, Drake is in the loop. And if Drake says your name, it's like, oh shit. Drake knows what's going on in the streets. And guys, that's what I like about Drake. That's what I like about Drake. Drake is in tune. He's current. People need to loosen up on him, man. So what? He's not tough. Drake makes R&B music. Your girlfriend loves his shit. I'm just being real with you. Anyone, any song, any one of his songs you put on, your girl is going to dance to Drake. Your girlfriend loves his shit. I'm just being real. But come on, you're just viewing Drake as a threat. Chill out, homie. That's like hating on Justin Bieber. You're a clown for hating on Justin Bieber. So listen to some of this back and forth. First of all, we should go over Machine Gun Kelly dissing Jack Harlow on the Renegade beat. He said, next line that goes into my nose might make me overdo it. I spent so much money. I spent so much of my personal savings on Colombian pure cocaine. I should speak Spanish like I'm Caliuchis. So fucking sick, I could piss mucus. I'm the shit when I sit, stand, talk, walk, rap, sing. My mouth sewage. So Machine Gun Kelly was basically using that as a setup bar, basically to say that he's the shit. He just used it as a setup bar like that. Machine Gun Kelly also said, this gun is my son. I'm the father of Draco like Lucius. Make sure there's no confusion. I'm a great white. I can eat all these barracudas. See who I am? You're stupid. It's nice to meet you. I just put this hole in the ground for you like a soccer cleat shoe. It was all right. I mean, put a hole in somebody with a soccer cleat shoe. I mean, a soccer cleat shoe is only going to go about an inch into the ground, man. You usually bury people about 6 foot deep, throw some lime in there and shit. But the line is pretty good. You know what I mean? He said, it's nice to meet you. I just put this hole in the ground for you like a soccer cleat shoe. I see why they call you Jack Man. You jacked man's whole swag. Give Drake his whole flow back, man. I eat rappers like Pac-Man. Must I regurgitate and show you who's in my stomach from the last dance? I battle rap, no Instagram or yelling at the cam, damn. Y'all made me the villain when all along I've been Batman. I don't necessarily agree with that. Machine Gun Kelly is always trying to put himself as like the hero at the end of the story. It's just kind of whack. You know what I mean? You're the villain in this story, Machine Gun Kelly. You dissed Eminem out of nowhere. You know what I mean? You dissed Eminem out of nowhere when you more than likely fully planned on transitioning over to soft rock music. That's what you do, homie. You do soft rock music and your sales actually tripled up. Your sales actually tripled up doing soft rock. Every album you put out with Bad Boy did 50K. And then you did some soft rock music, some Blink 182 shit. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily punk. I'm sorry, Machine Gun Kelly, but you don't make punk music. You know what I mean? You don't make punk rock music. You're not really of that misfit type culture, homie. You are soft rock. You are Blink 182. You are Simple Plan. That's what you are. You are Sum 41. I'm not even going to call you the Killers. You know what I mean? But yeah, so listen to what Millyz said, though. Millyz said, raise the roof on the lambs, color Tiffany. That goofy white rapper tried to block me in the industry. Hated on my come up. I remember that shit vividly. He only dissed on Jack because he know I'll do him viciously. Like picture me being afraid of a gimmick. A lame moving timid. No background, just made of an image. Devil worshiper. The pistol will make him pray for forgiveness. Illuminati puppet. I'ma do a Satanist wicked. Face of a meth user. Frame of a lizard. Tucked his tail, switched genres to escape from the critics. My youngest tote machine guns, AK in the Civic. Drum on him like Travis Barker if they pay him a visit. This is light shit. I know you won't respond back. Because beyond that, you know we really on that. Rap a blood sport, Mortal Kombat. Come on, Jack, I do murder for hire. Just send the contract. Whoo! That shit was fire right there. That was fire, man. So you see, Machine Gun Kelly came at Jack Harlow, and Millyz actually responded. Jack Harlow has made it to a certain level of fame, like that's actually above Machine Gun Kelly with the endorsement from Drake. I'm just saying it. Jack Harlow's entrance into the game is more successful than Machine Gun Kelly's. Machine Gun Kelly's entrance into the game was getting signed to Puff Daddy, getting signed to Diddy on Bad Boy 2.0, and then having a breakout single with Waka Flocka. I'm just being real. That's what it is. And Machine Gun Kelly, if you faced Millyz at the Apollo, Millyz would have ripped your head off at the Apollo, man. Just like he did here. And he even said that he's probably not going to respond. He said, this is light shit. I know you won't respond back. It's light shit. I know you won't respond back. I respect Millyz because he's cut from the cloth. You know what I mean? He's cut from another cloth of the music industry that they haven't seen yet. You know, we got to see the Eminem, the Trailer Park, you know, the battle rap. Eminem's talented as fuck. You know what I'm saying? We got to see that whole type of way that he came into the game. Everybody wasn't raised like that. Millyz is given a whole new definition. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate everything he's doing. Millyz actually gave me an interview early on. So let me see. We got to get into Cam'ron and Mase, though. We got to get into Cam'ron and Mase. They've been going off on their new show, you guys. Their new show is lit. Cam'ron proved to the world that he can come back and take the industry like that. I really respect Cam for what he's done with the show, even bringing Mase back like that. This is the longest we've ever seen Mase actually hold, you know what I mean? Stay in the industry. Every time he comes back, it's for like a brief stint, you know what I mean? Ever since he left after his debut album. The guy recorded Double Up and then bounced. And so, yeah, Mase really hasn't had the best career, you know? And I'm going to address a few different things. Jim Jones had some things to say. Let me see if I could get to my notes here, just so I can get all the quotes right for you guys. Oh, shit, my weed's out. I'm going to chill on that. And we're going to get to the notes. Let me see. Everybody in here, hit that like button, though. Hit that like button. Share this video one time. You heard? So, Gillie the Kid. Gillie the Kid got Cam'ron to admit why he let Juelz Santana fall off. So basically, Cam'ron was talking about his top 5 from Harlem. Cam was like, Cam said Killa, he's second, referring to Mase. And then he said, I would put Juelz third, and then I would put Big L fourth. Then I would put Big L fourth. Guys, we got to talk. Y'all. Hit that like button if you're in here. We got to talk. We're talking Harlem tonight. Listen, Mase said, you would put Juelz before Big L? Let's talk about it. Cam said he had more than 200 mixtapes. Guys, to put Juelz before Big L is controversial. It's controversial. Better artists? Yes, Juelz. Better spitter? Definitely not. What Cam'ron is saying is controversial, but Big L, he didn't have an Oh Boy. He didn't have a Hey Ma. He didn't have a Dipset anthem. So I guess what Cam is saying, you know what I mean? He could be right. He could be right with what he's saying, but again, it depends on who you ask. I mean, it doesn't sound wrong when you say it, because a lot of people might agree with Mase saying that Juelz might have been the next Hove. You know what I mean? He had a major push behind him. He had a full-length album ready to go with Lil Wayne called I Can't Feel My Face. But where is it? Where is it, guys? What happened? The dude was supposed to be the next Jay-Z. He was a smooth talker, kind of like Mase, right? But more of a street version of Mase. The ladies loved Juelz Santana, right? Juelz's singles were not struggle. His singles were not cringe. All of his singles were fire. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. What's popping, all things independent? Yeah, I agree. I'll give more of my opinion on that in a second. I mean, if y'all want to list your top 5 from Harlem, where Juelz and Big L fit in, you know what I mean? I'm going to give my opinion. I'm going to give my opinion about that for sure tonight, about where I think that they stand on that list. You already know what to do. Hit that like button. We're smoking good tonight. Mexican flan on deck. That's one of my favorite cookie strains. But now we're talking Dipset, you guys. Now we're talking Dipset. Because that was shocking to me. That was shocking to me. I mean, why? Cameron used to rap alongside Big L. You know what I mean? I kind of looked at it like Cam and Mase kind of looked up to Big L from an outsider looking in. You know what I mean? Just listening to them all rap together on the Danger Zone. Having spoke with Herb McGruff on many occasions. Hell, I've been kicked it with Mase too. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any of these other bloggers, no disrespect, but I don't think any of these other bloggers have actually kicked it with Mase and shit like that. You know what I mean? I just got inside connections. But yeah, I've definitely kicked it with Mase and shit. Yo, what up, Quincy? What's popping with you? My guy, All Things Independent, said, I never really got into Juelz like I did Cam. You know, the issue with that was Cam didn't have enough time to actually build Juelz Santana. Like I mentioned a few of the singles. Like I mentioned the fact that Juelz Santana was on the Diplomat Community projects, had his own albums, but Cameron didn't get to finish what he started. You know, we've seen Cameron say some things. You know what I mean? Seen Cameron say some things about the fact that he ended up letting Juelz Santana go. It was a Def Jam deal that Juelz Santana had. You know what I mean? But honestly, man, we've seen Def Jam drop the ball on a lot of young artists. Look what happened with Def Jam and Lil Durk. But when Juelz Santana had first broke onto the scene, it was different. It was different. It was actually kind of similar to Chief Keef and all them blowing up. After Chief Keef blew up, Reese and Durk both got deals. Cameron blew up and got deals for Juelz. Jim, I don't know, man. Jim hustled and got that situation right with Koch, just to be real. Just to be real. Oh shit, that might be cool. My guy Neighborhood All-Star said, I think Juelz was the illest in Dipset. Reach said he's rolling up that wah-wah. That wah-wah, bro. Bro, if you ain't smoking on that Zuzu, you ain't right. Just being real. If you ain't smoking on that Zuzu. But like I said, to put Juelz Santana before Big L is just straight up controversial. So Mase said, when I first heard Juelz rap, I wasn't speaking to Killer, but I said, he's got one. Juelz could have been Hove level, is what Mase said. This is not BS. It's really not. Come on, guys. It's really not. Hove was begging to be on their music. Welcome to New York City. That was their hit. Hove was begging to be on it. Juelz was chasing girls. Cam said if he had a baddie, he'd be there. They knew the trick. They knew the trick to his work ethic. Come on. If there were girls around, Santana would want to work. In a way, that's really actually fucked up too, because it's like, is it really a work ethic? Is that really what you would call work ethic? To me, that's not really work ethic, because there's a reward in it for you. If there wasn't, you wouldn't be in there recording. I get what Cameron is saying. He had work ethic, but I had to squeeze it out of him, is pretty much what he's saying to me. He had to ban him from what? I think he said he had to ban him from going to school. You know what I mean? And let me just say, if you don't give a young artist some type of order, they're just going to do whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I mean? It's say like if your kid says, I'm not going to do homework tonight. Okay, then you're not going to do homework. Well, you're going to eat vegetables all week. You're going to eat your veggies all week. So go ahead. Don't do your homework. I'll go ahead and agree with you on that. You're right. Homework is for suckers. Yeah. You like these vegetables though, right? That's the type of treatment that Cameron was giving Juelz Santana. You got to follow some type of a protocol. You know what I mean? And that's good that he was doing that for him, because that's when Juelz was at his best. That's when he needed to be producing the most music. Now let's get to Hove level. Let's get to the Jay-Z level part of this. If they didn't make Cameron the CEO of Rockefeller, who was next up? Who was the next most anticipated album after Cameron? Wait a minute. Mr. Postman was a slam dunk. You might be familiar. It's a classic song on a classic sample that was redone, and the ladies loved it. The shit was on Hot 97 for 9 months in a row. So you tell me who was up next. It's obvious who they had their budgeting behind and who they had their marketing behind. And no, it's not no J.R. Writer. Come on. Did you watch this? Did you witness this history, or were you asleep? Wasn't J.R. Writer. It wasn't Hell Rel. You know what I'm saying? They weren't pushing them like they were L's. Let's be real. And that's not to say that they didn't give them a chance. You know what I mean? Some people out there actually think Uncasa is nicer than Juelz. Some people think 40 Cal is nicer than Juelz. It depends on who you ask. Some people say Juelz can't do what 40 Cal does. He can't battle. He'll get cooked by these battle rappers. Some people think like that. Hit that like button if you're just tapping in here. Drop a comment. Let me know what city and state you're from. Beanie Siegel. That's right. That's my guy right there. I grew up on Diplomats, and they will forever be legendary. But Big L is the greatest Harlem lyricist. I like that comment, Quincy. You know what I mean? Because the Dipset legacy can't be denied. Dipset's legacy in the game cannot be denied, you guys. But Big L just holds a certain part, you know what I mean, in my heart. You know what I mean? Even when you compare Big L to Biggie, it's actually like a drink moment on Drink Champs. Hit that like button if you rock with me. And go into the description of this video and follow me on Instagram if you want to follow back. Let's get back to it because I want to talk about Hove level. As far as this Hove level shit, you act like Hove became Hove overnight. Reasonable Doubt was From Me to You. So Juelz was on the right track. Come on. What the game's been missing? Great follow-up. What is that? What would you say that is? What is that, a Hard Not Life maybe? If he continued on that path he was on, I don't see why that is so far-fetched to say. Listen, a lot of people thought Papoose was supposed to be the next Hove too. People really believe that. I'm just being real. He was in the Daily News talking about I'm the king of New York. He was talking about Jay-Z is not better than me. He was on the front page of the newspaper. It was printed, you guys. People won't forget that. They were like, who is this dude? But Jay-Z never dissed him. He never threw him a bone. Some people could say Jay-Z didn't want to play with him. You know what I mean? You could say Jay-Z didn't want to mess with Papoose because Jay-Z never dissed him. He saw what happened the last time he played with somebody. Nas, Jay-Z was done playing with people. He didn't want to throw anyone a bone on the way back. So people are going to look at me like I'm on drugs. You know what I mean? What do you mean Papoose could have been the next Jay-Z? That's what I mean. With the right production, with the right hooks, let's be real. The right record label situation, I just don't really think Jive knew how to market artists back then. Jive hooked up Papoose with that $1.5 million deal. Hell, they even signed Mobb Deep for the American Nightmare album. They just didn't know how to market their artist. Rest in peace, Prodigy. Cameron said this. He could have been a leader of everything that's going on right now. He could have been these young dudes' fathers and uncle. He had every element that you needed. Mase said he had the real wittiness to be one of them special rappers. Mase asked him, and this is on Gillie the Kid's $1 Million Worth of Game platform. He asked him, what stopped him? You was there, I wasn't. The $1 million question on $1 million Worth of the Game. Shout out to my guys, my bros, Gillie the Kid and Wallow. You know, these guys are at the top of the media game, man. And you know, I love and respect them. And obviously, tune into them every week for their new episodes and the new Gillie and Wallow adventures as well. Love that shit. But right here, they got, and I'll hit Gillie up from time to time and be like, yo, you did that, Gil. You did that. But right here, we're getting to the bottom of what went wrong with Juelz Santana's career. A career that we were all heavily invested into, especially when it looked like his third album was going to be the joint project with Lil Wayne. I think that really tripped him out a little bit, but you know what I mean? That would just be me in my mind. If I missed out on that, I would have kept on waiting for the Lil Wayne project to come out too. So let's get to it. Mase asked the question on $1 Million Worth of Game. What stopped him? You was there, I wasn't. Cam said, to me, Juelz I wouldn't say poor work ethic, but Juelz sits there with 300 songs in his hard drive and won't put it out. If you follow Juelz, he will tell you next month so and so is coming out and it doesn't come out. He's not lying about that. Juelz Santana has a really seriously bad issue with not putting out music. And I'm going in recent times, I'm going in times before he was arrested for, bringing the gun to the airport. Juelz Santana's consistency in putting out music just was never there. He had really intrigued the people when he was doing a blog series back in the day, talking about the Reagan era mixtape series, which everybody was totally ready for. He was talking about this mixtape series before Donald Trump was in president and the Republicans took back over. So it was like he was talking about that when Obama and the Democrats were in office. So Juelz Santana bringing up the Reagan administration, it was like kind of gangsta. You know what I mean? It was like taking it back to the 80s. You know what I mean? When the shit really got crazy in the streets. And you thought Juelz Santana was going to really do something like that, but he just never dropped the music. He never started the new series. Cameron also said, if you think about it, he wanted to get out of his deal with me. He said, I'm not going to put out music until I get out of the deal with Cam. Then I'll put my album out. That right there seems like another mistake. You know what I mean? Why would you not talk to Cameron and get a follow-up project to what the game's been missing? Why would you not talk to Cameron and get Diplomatic Immunity 3 in the pipeline? There's so many different levels. There's so many different ways that you could just take this to continue to move money while you're waiting on the Lil Wayne I Can't Feel My Face album to come together. So we all remember that, though, when Juelz wanted to get out of the deal, and now he's kind of using that as a reasoning as to why he's not releasing music. Cam said he started to put out mixtapes here and there, but he hasn't put out a real project. So I'm not going to say he doesn't have a great work ethic. I don't know what it is. Once he got the songs done, they don't come out, and he's sitting there with 800 songs and a hard drive. Cam said, I have no idea, but once he wanted to get out of his deal with me, I made it happen, and I decided we were still cool. And remember back in the day, Cam seemed to have a real issue with Juelz drinking that purple drink. You know what I mean? Back then, Cameron was saying things like, yo, that purple drink is liquid heroin, man. Like, how the hell would you be using that type of shit? So that was another disagreement that they had. But everybody be getting stuck on their purple drink, man. And I'll just tell you, I'm more of a weed guy. That purple drink will have you leaning like crazy. One love from Philly. Much love to Philly. Cam brings up a good point, though, you guys. Cam brings up a good point. I'm going to bring up something from the past when the feds took Juelz Santana's hard drive. Because Cam has a good point here. Do you guys remember when they took Juelz Santana's hard drive? When the feds came and they raided his studio or whatever? Cam is bringing up a good point. Why do you have 700 unreleased songs? You're not Tupac. Release the music. What are you waiting for? Do you need a distro deal? Shop for one if that's the case. You need Cam to help you get one? Is that what it is? Thought you wanted out of the deal. What is it exactly that you need, else? I don't get why artists sit on music. It's only going stale. Listen to me. Release the music while it's still fresh, while it's seasonal. The music's going to end up sounding outdated. What are you waiting for the moment to pass? Drop stuff while you're buzzing, homie. Cam is 100% right. He's absolutely right. Now, nobody's calling Juelz Santana Lazy Lloyd. This isn't Curtis calling Banks Lazy Lloyd. Cameron is saying you've got work ethic, but you don't know how to pick singles without me. And you can kind of tell that Cam spearheaded Juelz' whole career. And now that Cam isn't around to tell dudes, you can do this and you can do that, it's a little bit harder for them. You know what I mean? You don't got to tell someone like Jimmy what to do. You know what I mean? You can say what you want about Jim Jones' music, but he's still consistent. It's street music. Another thing I want to talk about, a lot of people don't realize how young Juelz was when he first started rapping. You know what I mean? Juelz spit one time for Cam in his car and he got signed basically. Cameron was on the hunt to get everyone that was fire. He didn't care about their age, which explained why J.R. Writer and Juelz Santana were the youngest dudes in Dipset. I think one of them was 16 and one of them was 17. Juelz was young. When he came into that game, that, you know what I mean? Everything was just coming at him so fast because of the fact that he was so young, too. It's easy to say, you know it now, 10, 15 years removed. You know what I mean? Maybe From Me to You was his best work. Maybe he can't actually top his debut album. Shit, maybe Nas can't top Illmatic, but maybe he can. People are always going to expect from him, you know what I mean? And then they're always going to compare his new projects to that. Everything he does, they're going to compare it. Like with Lloyd Banks, they're going to compare Halloween Havoc 4 to Halloween Havoc 1. They're going to compare it to Hunger for More and say, this isn't Hunger for More. It's just the way it is. But I'll say this. It's not too late for Juelz. Juelz could still figure it out. You know what I mean? You see, a guy like J.R. Writer could never figure it out. And what they're saying, Juelz was on major labels, Def Jam. He had a lot of support. You know what I mean? And in reality, it should have been a lot easier for him. Because when you think about it, it's crazy that Jim Jones is more poppin' than Juelz Santana. It's crazy that he's more musically relevant. He's more in the news, and everyone thought it would be the exact opposite. I'm just being real. They thought Juelz was going to be the star. You know what I mean? He's a star sitting next to a star. What happened to that? What happened to that? What happened to that? The car sitting next to the car. What happened to that, Juelz? We missed that dumb shit from Juelz, right? He was the only one that used to do that repeating his shit like 3, 4 times. He made that shit up, you know what I mean? And that's what made Dipset dope, you know what I mean? The different type of flows and all the different energy. It made it dope because everyone had their own thing. You know, JR was the spitter. Juelz was the, I got a whole selection. No, a whole collection. He was the guy that was good at saying the same shit with like several different meanings. You know what I mean? So he has a whole selection of a whole collection. You know what I mean? He would do like that clever pimp talk shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mase was saying with the wittiness. He was doing what Mase was doing, but in a different way. Even on Hey Ma, he was, you know what I mean? Even on Hey Ma, he was doing what Mase was doing, but in a different way. Hit that like button if you're just tapping in here. We're talking about real hip hop tonight, you guys. We're talking about real shit. Cameron gave Juelz Santana to Def Jam. Everybody thought that would be good. Def Jam, one of the most reputable labels. Hit that like button. I'm lighting up. We're only smoking gas tonight, you guys. If you ain't smoking cookies or better, I don't think there's nothing better. If you're smoking something good, put it in the chat right now. So let's get into it. Cameron gave Juelz Santana to Def Jam. He let him go. Juelz Santana said he wanted to go. So he let him go. Again, Cameron orchestrated that deal so that Juelz wasn't left high and dry. Don't forget that part. That part that people don't seem to remember. Cam didn't leave any of the Dipset members hanging like people suggest. Jimmy, I'm going to get you up at a 5H. Do you guys see Jim Jones living in apartment 5H anymore? He did what he promised. Jimmy's got cribs in Jersey. He did what he promised. Just did Jay-Z do what he promised for Beanie Siegel? Jay-Z did right by one person and one person only. Shout out to Memphis Bleak. And when people say stuff like, what about 40 Cal? And people say, what about J.R. Ryder? They're grown men. Nobody is stopping them from doing anything. That's like asking 50 Cent, what about Young Buck? What about him? He's a grown-ass man. J.R. Ryder got brought to Hot 97 to freestyle. Do you hear what I'm saying? He got brought. J.R. Ryder didn't have to beg K-Slay like Papoose did. Are any other bloggers telling you guys this? They don't know it. They don't know the real shit. And I'm sorry, but none of those other bloggers ever sat with Mase in their life. Unless it was like Elliott Wilson. I am him when it comes to this blogging shit. None of these other bloggers ever broke a Dutch down in Rick Ross's house. None of these other bloggers ever looked at 50 Cent in his face with their face screwed. Like, yo, what it is, we get in this interview. So listen, Cameron did right by Dipset. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why certain rappers, they look at it like, man, he's just lit because he's a part of Dipset. Where's the leg work? What you got? What you got, man? What you got? Writer's block 1, 2? That's all the work that you put in? That's not enough. It's not enough. So that's why people make fun of them and say they are Dipset rejects. It's not that they didn't get enough playtime. It's just that when they did, they didn't shine enough. I'm just being real. They didn't hit enough rebounds. It was hard for them to be the complete package. You know, Cameron thought Jim Jones was too rough around the edges. He thought it needed to be someone like Juelz Santana. Babyface, talks the hustle talk real good. It was kind of perfect. He was like the poster child for Harlem. Everyone from Harlem wanted to be like Juelz. They wanted to talk like him. He made people say, hey. They used to say you. He switched it up. Maybe not everyone did it, but a lot of people did. Not everyone wore pink, but a lot of people did. Hit that like button. Hit that like button if you're tapped in right now. Drop your city and state. Dipset was going through a lot of different shit. And they were doing a whole lot of different shit, you guys. I'm talking about custom airbrushing their Timberlands. You know what I mean? And I know who was custom airbrushing their Timberlands. But you know what? I'm not going to shout you out because I be seeing you and you be hating. And if you were so creative, my man, why didn't you do a joint venture business deal? You know what I mean? Because I noticed you brought that dumb old shit up recently. You could have had the custom, airbrushed Air Force Ones, Tims. So instead of being in my chat talking and making slick comments, since I know you watch, since I know you're a fan of me, I mean, shit, I'm gold, right? I'm gold. There ain't another blogger out there that went gold. Mikey T, the movie star, got to get that gold plaque for my gold single. I mean, shit, I'm gold. I just figured I'd bring that up. So boo-hoo, Dipset didn't pay you for your airbrush Tims. You're so gangster, right? But you let Dipset G you out your own Tims. Okay. Listen to this, you guys. Listen to this. Cam said, we used to have to lock. I alluded to this a little bit earlier on the podcast. Cam said, we used to have to lock Juelz in the house when he was 15, 16. All them songs you hear, the bangers, were forced. Yo, write this song. But it got to the point where I can't treat you like you're a grown man. All them hits, gangster music, Santana's Town, Hey Ma, was when we were about to walk out to the club. We had a crib in Chicago, and he'd be like, come on. He'd ask him, you did the 16? He'd say, da 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 da. I said, we'll bring you a bitch back. You're not going out until you finish the song. So that's what I was alluding to. You know what I mean? Do you call that work ethic? You know what I mean? Because honestly, when I heard about artists making songs like that, you know, when you hear about the days of like G Unit in the basement recording, you know, like song on top of songs on top of songs, you know what I mean? They're doing that shit to make it out. You know what I mean? They're not doing it so somebody's going to bring them back some girls from the club because they're young and they're kind of like excited about getting involved in that life. You know what I mean? Just actually getting a girl or something like that. Like Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo and 50 Cent, you could tell like guys like that. You could tell like the dudes from Philly, you know, that ended up becoming state property. You could tell like the Locks, these type of rappers, you know what I mean? It was more than just about the glitz and glamour. You know, I mean, Biggie's a little bit of a different story. You know what I mean? Biggie actually never got the bitches. You know what I mean? So when he got majorly famous, he extra indulged in some activity. But that's a story for another day. Right now, we're actually going to get into the top 5. Mase said Juelz was definite top 5. Okay. Juelz is definite top 5. I can respect that. I'll put Juelz top 5. I'm going to put a chat up. I'm going to put up a poll in the stream right now, guys. I want to see what y'all have to say. Better artist. Overall. It's overall, guys. Big L, Juelz Santana. I want to know, what do you all think? Because Gillie got the juice exposed on his show. Gillie and Wallow, they got shit popping. I'm not going to lie. But May says Juelz is top 5, which I'll agree with. You know what I mean? Cam said, so when we stopped working together, I'm not saying the work ethic got pulled, but for some reason, it's not transitioning to the public hearing it. Like I said, you go to his page now. Every month he's saying something is coming out, but it doesn't end up coming out. Listen to this. Cameron said, I would put him ahead of Big L. Listen, guys, listen. If you're being specific to Harlem, Juelz is from Washington Heights. He's from Washington Heights. He's not from Harlem per se. So Harlem is going to ride with Big L. if you went to Washington Heights and asked who was better, they would say Juelz Santana. But I'm going to post a poll. I just posted it up. Poll in the chat because I'm curious. Who do y'all got? Juelz or Big L? Do you agree with Cam? Who is nicer? Juelz Santana or Big L? And I'll even, damn it, I didn't put it in. But if you think it's a tie, just put it in the chat right now that you think it's a tie. Option C, tie. Big L wasn't on nearly as much stuff as Juelz. I guess you could say Juelz had much more exposure than Big L as well, with the transition to all the different network television shows showcasing hip hop. So let me know. Vote in the poll right now. Do you agree with Cameron? Who was nicer? Big L wasn't on nearly as much stuff. You know what I mean? If you look at it in reality, they both had 2 albums, but Juelz was featured on big diplomatic immunity projects. We're not doing a side-by-side comparison of everything tonight. That's actually something I've been putting together with Darren Bars, my artist and co-host. He's an artist, and he actually does some co-hosting on the show. So, yeah, it's one of my good homies. So we might do a full side-by-side comparison of Juelz and Big L. I mean, they both had 2 albums. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be an interesting thing to actually do. Now looking at it, let me see here. The From Me to You album, I believe it debuted at number 8 on Billboard. Hold on, I don't have the title of that, so I'm just going to go to Juelz's second album. What the Game's Been Missing debuted at number 9 on Billboard 200, selling 141,000 copies in its first week. That was Juelz's second album. Lifestyles of the Poor and the Dangerous debuted at 149 on the U.S. Billboard 200 and number 22 on the U.S. and R&B hip-hop albums. The album would not peak any higher, and that has sold over 200,000 copies since August 2000. Okay, the big picture, it sold 72,549 copies in its first week. So yeah, that must have been From Me to You, the information I had, about 74,000 copies in its first week. Now, that's just a little bit of background information for anybody who doesn't know the particulars of the sales. They both had 2 albums, so I wanted to throw that information in there. Now, Cam lists himself, Mase, Juelz, and Big L. That was his top 4 in Harlem. Now, if I was going to add Max B to the list, he would go above Juelz Santana. If I was going to add Max B to the list, he would go above Juelz Santana, is what I'm saying. To make this list and not have Max B on it, to me, that's crazy. Even if he's not your top number 1, he's got to be on the list. Cam didn't put Jim Jones on the list because I guess he's not a spitter. You know what I mean? It took Jimmy some time. You know what I mean? He's not actually a natural born rapper like Juelz or J.R. Ryder, I guess. Some people are just natural, you know? Some people have to go and practice. They get better as they go. But Max B has got to be on the list. Max B has got to be on the list. Reach and teach. Salute, bro. Appreciate you, homie. But Max B has got to be on the list. That is crazy. So Mase had said this one line that caught me. He had real wittiness to be one of the special rappers. he had the real wittiness to be one of the special rappers. Huh. You know, as May said, he wasn't in good connection with Cameron at that point in time to really even reach out to possibly work with Juelz Santana. You know what I mean? Juelz had a wittiness, to him. He did. You know what I mean? Like I said, he would reuse the same rhyme scheme over and over again, you know? He would reuse the same rhyme scheme over and over again. You know, nobody was saying stuff like that. Listen to me, guys. Nobody, Keith Sweat, not even Keith Sweat himself. You know Keith Sweat, the R&B singer? He sings the song Nobody, not him, not nobody on the face of this earth rapped like that. 50 Cent can say what he wants, and so can Mase, because we all know who wanted to get the computers putin' and the boosters boosting. To y'all, it was silly, but it made sense to Harlem. Whoever that bar didn't make sense to, you're not from Harlem. I'm talking about anybody. Same thing with Juelz. He was doing the same type of thing. Let me give you an example of how they used to do the rhyme scheme. Like they did on the Dipset anthem. It's like where they're talking to you. Go uptown Harlem. Tell them that I sent you. I need a couple birds. Get abroad, have them sent up. It's like they're talking to you. You know what I mean? That's in my mind why it was actually so dope. You know what I mean? Go uptown to Harlem. Tell them that I sent you. It was a different type of rhyme scheme with it. You know what I mean? Than all the other people in the game were giving us. You know, than G Unit. Then maybe you heard a little bit of it with Big. Actually, you heard a little bit of it with Big. So that's actually pretty dope. I see some dudes getting money in the town. I like it. Followed by, I like it. Nobody was doing that, guys. Like, for example, when they would say, yeah, yo, I used to like chickens with the biscuits, but now I like chicken with the biscuits and chicken with the biscuits. That shit was fire, man. Just doing things like Cameron was doing, like that whole Get 'em Daddy and all that. Like, what was it called? The Pink Range Rover song. What was that sample they used? Sing Clap. Cam's been the realest since Kumbaya, Boombaye. Listen to the bars. It's unique. You'll never hear nobody do that because he's not worried about you saying it sounds silly. He said Kumbaya, Boombaye. Listen to the bars, you guys. It was unique. You'll never hear nobody do that. And you're not going to think twice. All you're going to do is bop your head and be like, this shit is fire. And bars like that, man, they made people like 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Mad. Made people like 50 mad because he couldn't do that. Cameron wasn't doing traditional rap like 50 Cent. And that's why we're talking about Juelz Santana compared to Jay-Z and not Lloyd Banks. Cam didn't start like that when he first got into the game. He did that to show you how drippy he is. Cam can talk cooler than you can rap. Cameron can talk cooler than you can rap. So Jim Jones commented on this as well. It's pretty dope. Jimmy commented on it, and oh man, you just never know what Jim's gonna say sometimes. You just never know what he's gonna say. So Jim was asked about the whole thing of Juelz having the ability to be a second coming of Jay-Z. And Jones was like, first of all, Juelz was not trying to fill Jay-Z's shoes in no way, shape, or form. In my eyes, he was the biggest artist, period. We were never trying to fill anyone's shoes. I didn't like that comment because that's not what we was doing. Because that's not what we was about, especially for them two who tried to be bigger than Jay-Z their whole careers. Let me guess, right? Oh, Jim Jones is an asshole, right? How dare he say something like this? The general public knows that Cam is Jim Jones' man. So what? Jim Jones is not supposed to say what everyone else thinks and knows? Because that's his right-hand man. He's not supposed to say that. You could never outshine Jay-Z. Even though he was on the way to almost doing that because he was the new president of Rockefeller, could Cam have done more to help Jim? I don't know. I think at a certain point in time, Jim got so hot that he just distanced himself from Cameron anyways. Jim should know that they were muzzled at a certain point because Jay didn't want them to get too big. One thing about Jay-Z is that he knows. He can see talent. So when Ballin' came out and Jay-Z jumps on the remix, but guess what, guys? Jim Jones didn't put him on the remix. Jones didn't put Jay-Z on that remix. Jones, I don't think, was feeling Jay-Z back then. He looked at it like, yo, I'm capo. And Jay-Z respected it. He respected that cocky, I don't give a fuck who you are type of attitude. But what you mean to tell me is what you're going to do is jump on the remix unsolicited. That was corny. You got on Sun's song. He didn't even ask you to. You could have ran into some D1 shit with doing that. You know what I mean? And fuck all that. You're using my song. You're using my actual beat. It's being played all over the radio. I want a monetary gain now because of that. Back then, it wasn't solidified that Jay-Z was going to be what he is today. It wasn't solidified at that point in time. Even when Jay-Z went to Def Jam, it was not solidified that he was going to be the first hip-hop billionaire. Now, why Jay-Z didn't want to explore all the options he could do? Well, you know, Jay-Z, honestly, he doesn't want to run. It doesn't seem like he wants to run a label with 50 different artists. Cameron was going to do that for you. Koch Records? So, Jim is right. Juelz Santana was not trying to fill Jay-Z's shoes. Juelz Santana wasn't talking about, I'm the king of New York. You know what I mean? My whole thing is like, I can tell Jim Jones is playing nice too. Because why doesn't he say what everyone is thinking? Look who's talking. It's Mase. M-A dollar. We're talking about you. Mase. You could have been bigger than Crisscross. You could have been bigger than Vanilla Ice, Eminem, Jay-Z. What are you talking about Jay-Z for? Come on. You was the black Eminem and you're talking about Jay-Z? Did Jay-Z walk into the spot and have girls going crazy? Girls be fainting when Mase walks into the room. And what did Mase do? Mase walked away. I'm talking about grown women falling over in need of water. Some shorties love the dude. I don't know what it is, but Jim Jones said it, man. Jim Jones said, especially for them two who tried to be bigger than Jay-Z their whole careers, rather than extending an arm to their bros, to their Banks and Yayos, they were too busy competing. They were too busy actually competing to be bigger than Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Jim Jones has a point there, man, because that's absolutely true. You know, when Mase wanted to be bigger than Jay-Z, I'm not sure if Mase thought that by leaving the game, I'm not sure if Mase thought that by leaving the game that he would have got bigger when he came back, but all of that fumbled. All of that absolutely fumbled right in Mace's face. All that shit fumbled right in Mace's face, you guys. And Cam actually left. Cam actually left the game at a certain point. I mean, I could imagine why Cam left the game. The last video I remember from Cam, he was in Florida. You know what I mean? He was in Florida outside of like a pool. You know what I mean? It was like, damn, that's kind of a small pool for Cam. Yo, dude, get the fuck off my channel. Go start your own channel or something, dude. What the hell are you talking about in the comments? I love how people try to give it an idea of, you know what I mean? This is my channel. I say what I want on my channel, man. Now I want to go over some of these bars. I want to go over these bars if you missed that part of the show, because Millyz and Machine Gun Kelly, these guys have been dissing. Machine Gun Kelly went at Jack Harlow. Millyz came back in Jack Harlow's defense. Shit was crazy. Machine Gun Kelly was saying some serious shit, man. He was like, this gun is my son. I'm a father of the Draco like Lucius. Make sure there's no confusions. I'm a great white. I can eat these barracudas. See who I am? You're stupid. It's nice to meet you. I just put this hole in the ground for you like a soccer cleat shoe. I see why they called you Jack Man. You Jack Man's whole swag. Give Drake his flow back, man. I eat rappers like Pac-Man. Must I regurgitate and show you who's in my stomach from the last dance? A battle rap, no Instagram. Or yelling at the cam dam. Y'all made me the villain when all along I've been Batman. Interesting bars from Machine Gun Kelly to bring up his last battle with Eminem, where he got absolutely cooked. Eminem absolutely cooked Machine Gun Kelly in their battle. Eminem exposed that Diddy called Jimmy Iovine or whatever, like they were going to do a conference call or some weird shit like that. What else, man? Eminem actually did, when Eminem released his audio, he did the most views in one day in YouTube history. Machine Gun Kelly, over 30 million people heard you get dissed once you tried to diss Eminem. Come on, man. That's embarrassing. You ruined your own career so much that you had to go Blink 182. And then you diss Jack Harlow and you say that he stole Drake's flow. I don't agree with this whatsoever, man. I don't agree with this whatsoever. You're going to diss somebody. You're going to diss somebody that you could potentially get money with. You're going to diss somebody that's just trying to make it up in the game, just like you were a few years ago when you were lying and bitching and complaining about how hard you had to struggle to get noticed. When we all know Jack Harlow's been grinding since a young age as his flow changed from when he sucked when he started to how he actually got it all together. And you want to diss him? I see what it is because I saw the picture. I follow Millyz. Been following Millyz for a minute. I see stuff. You took a picture with Millyz when he had no relevancy to really be spoken of. And now when Millyz is gaining notoriety, you don't want to give him the cosign. Millyz struggled through a lot of his career. He went to the BET Awards several years in a row to get an opportunity to perform and spit bars, man. To meet you and you give him some sort of a false hope, you know what I mean? It's just complete bullshit. I don't know what happened with you and Jack Harlow, but if that man DM'd you or something and you didn't respond, it's coming back to bite you in the ass now. It's biting you in the ass now, Machine Gun Kelly, because something that you could have turned into a crazy moment, you blew it up in your own face. I really can't believe it, man. And that's 2 times now, because now you ruined an opportunity with Jack Harlow and you ruined an opportunity with Millyz and you ruined the opportunity with Eminem, who would have embraced you if you didn't make that weird ass post about his daughter. You don't ever talk about another man's child like that. Talking about she's cute or something like that. What the hell is wrong with you? Eminem, I would smack the shit out of you just for saying that shit about Eminem's daughter. The hell are you thinking? Millyz responded back. Millyz responded back. Cosmic Kev, he was on Cosmic Kev's show. He spit one of the most fire freestyles. And this freestyle is not just fire because he's dissing Machine Gun Kelly. If you're not aware, Millyz has gone on the circuit for years, destroying freestyles, acapella, over beats, whatever, any platform. So this is not fire just because he's dissing Machine Gun Kelly. And this is actually not the first time he's dissing Machine Gun Kelly, but I'm going to say it's the most important time because of the fact that he's sticking up for Jack Harlow. You know what I mean? A kid in the industry who, honestly, some people probably thought would have never made it. Watching him grind for so many years since, like I said, since like he sucked when he was younger. Grinded so damn hard to turn his flow into something. And he finally did it. So Millyz said, raise the roof on the lamb colored Tiffany. Raise the roof on the lamb's colors Tiffany. That goofy white rapper tried to block me in the industry. Hated on my come up. I remember that shit vividly. He only dissed on Jack because he knows I'll do him viciously. Like picture me being afraid of a gimmick, a lame moving timid. No background, just made of an image. Devil worshiper, the pistol will make him pray for forgiveness. What? Millyz is using the way that Machine Gun Kelly has transitioned in the music industry against him. The way he's going to all these performances, claiming to be punk, the way he's wearing vials of Megan Fox's blood around his neck and a necklace on some weird ass trippy red shit. I don't know what the hell Machine Gun Kelly is doing. But Millyz is roasting him here. He's roasting him right from the beginning. He said that goofy white rapper tried to block me in the industry. Hated on my come up. I remember that shit vividly. He only dissed on Jack because he knows I'll do him viciously. You're only going to go after somebody that you don't think will respond? Hey, geez. Listen, Millyz disses you on a song, it'll do over 1 million views. But that's not what Machine Gun Kelly wants. Machine Gun Kelly wants somebody to diss him and for it to do 35 million views in one single day. Because that's what happened when Eminem dissed him. It did it might have been 42 million views in a day. That record was only broken when 6ix9ine came home and released Gooba. I think it was Gooba music video, and I think that topped it. and Eminem's was just audio, homie. The man did 40 million views in a day on audio, homie. He only dissed on Jack because he knows I'll do him viciously, Millyz said. Like, picture me being afraid of a gimmick. Millyz isn't a gimmick in this rap shit. Millyz is organically himself. You know what I mean? We've seen Millyz change his appearance organically. You know what I mean? He didn't go from somebody who was wearing baggy jeans and, you know what I'm saying, wearing hoodies to somebody who's now wearing tight pants and wearing spike jackets and dyeing their hair purple and putting it into ponytails or whatever the hell he's doing. Millyz, we saw the transition gradually from the tattoos that he put on his head, his forehead, the top of his head. We saw all the transition of him having smaller chains, you know what I mean, to having larger chains. We saw his whole progression in the music industry. With Machine Gun Kelly, the man came into the game and wanted to be a rapper so bad that he was on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and spit for him and told him he was the best rapper. And he's like, you didn't feel that? He spit for him right there. He started rapping for him. And Charlemagne's like, nope, that's not for me. And and the reality of it is you didn't really want to be a rapper. You wanted to make Adam song, homie. You wanted to make songs about like depression and shit. You wanted to make songs about losing your girlfriend. You wanted to make songs about your father passing away. You know what I mean? You wanted to make rock and roll, soft rock songs. You know what I mean? I respect that. You know what I mean? I think making songs about the people that you love that have passed on is great. I think making emo like songs is kind of catchy. Look at Trippie Redd. He does it and he's a rapper, you know, but it just kind of caught us all off guard. You know what I mean? Kind of caught us all off guard. And Millyz is basically saying it's a gimmick. He's saying it's a gimmick. You know what I mean? But, you know, back in the day, watching that old show, Jackass, you could tell that every member of the cast probably wanted to just start a rock band, an emo rock band. Yeah, let's get back to the bars, though. Enough of that bullshit. Machine Gun Kelly went all Jerry Springer on us and shit. Oh, man. You're making us look bad out here, Machine Gun Kelly, transitioning like that. Eminem waited until his third album to even sing. Fourth album. Oh, man. This guy, Machine Gun Kelly, man. This guy, Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah, Millyz is the real deal, man. Millyz is the real deal. So let's get back to us. He said, a lame moving timid. No background, just made of an image. Devil worshiper. The pistol will make him pray for forgiveness. Illuminati puppet. I'm going to do a Satanist wicked. Face of a meth user. Frame of a lizard. Tucked his tail, switched genres to escape from the critics. My youngest tote machine guns, AK in the Civic. Drum on him like Travis Barker if they pay him a visit. This is light shit. I know you won't respond back. Because beyond that, you know we really on that. Rap a blood sport, Mortal Kombat. Come on, Jack. I do murder for hire. Just send the contract. I hope Jack Harlow does a song with Millyz based on this. You know what I mean? Another thing I was going to say about Millyz is he didn't just start singing in his raps either. You know what I mean? He didn't start doing that. He didn't just start doing all that corny ass shit singing in his raps right away. He got people in tune with his music. He got his fans comfortable with him. All them 136,000 fans that bought Machine Gun Kelly's punk rock soft. I'm not calling it punk rock because I got friends that had punk rock bands, and that's not what Machine Gun Kelly is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he found an audience, but I highly doubt even 20% of his hip hop audience really bought into the new shit. But it's pretty good though. I won't lie. You know what I mean? If you like that old Blink 182 type shit, you know what I mean? That I never thought I'd die alone. If you like that type of shit, you know what I mean? You'll like some Machine Gun Kelly. But I just want to let you all know, like, look, guys, listen, guys, why are we beefing? Why are we beefing? There's like literally only 3 white rappers in the industry. Do you guys hear what I'm telling you? There's literally 3. 1, 2, 3. Or like the Jamaicans would say, tree. There's only tree. There's only 3 white rappers. So why are y'all beefing with each other? Why did MGK diss Eminem? Why did he diss Eminem? Why did you make that stupid comment about his daughter? You would have literally had an opportunity to work with Eminem. You could have asked Puff. You could have asked Puff to reach out. Instead of a conference call allegedly almost transpiring with Puff, Jimmy Iovine, Eminem, and Machine Gun Kelly about an apology for a stupid ass comment that you made, I think a conference call could have been made about your second single, so your second album, General Admission, wasn't such a failure. I mean, you can't really call it a failure. I mean, actually, fuck that. If you sell 50,000 records on Bad Boy, you're a failure. You are, homie, you're Craig Mack level. You're Craig Mack level, homie. You ain't even there, really. You ain't even there. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That was a bad joke. I was about to say he's G-Dep level. I was about to. But yeah, man, you sold 50,000 records on Bad Boy. You think Puff Daddy wants to tell any of his friends about that? Puff Daddy doesn't even want to call Eminem about you. I mean, Puff Daddy is the guy that listened to Irv Gotti when it came to not signing 50 Cent. Do you realize how bad of a music situation that was for Diddy? Diddy made probably the worst decision of his life listening to Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti telling Diddy not to hire 50 Cent probably cost Diddy about $250 million. Diddy probably has taken Irv Gotti off of his Christmas list. He's like, I'm not sending that motherfucker a bottle of Cristal for the next 40 years. And that'll make up for some of the money that he cost me. Only like 40 grand. But listen, man, there's no need for these rappers to be beefing. There's no need for MGK to feel some type of way about Jack Harlow. Both y'all can shine. There's no need for MGK to feel away, you guys. He actually switched genres, like Millyz said. But there's 3 rappers, 3 popular rappers. There's no reason for this dumb shit. The culture is actually looking at you like, what the fuck? And y'all are not doing anything to help, man. Y'all are not doing anything to help this white culture assimilate into hip hop. This shit ain't helping whatsoever. This is exactly why people are saying, look at these culture vultures. Look at MGK. Look at Millyz. Look at Eminem. Look how they're behaving. It's like they're arguing. It's like they're arguing for the top spot to be in the public eye. Come on, this is how they're viewing everything. Don't you realize that? Millyz has a real big opportunity to be the next big rapper in the game. Jack Harlow is currently doing his thing better than anybody else could have imagined. Drake endorsement and everything. Machine Gun Kelly disses Eminem for no fucking reason. No reason whatsoever. You didn't need Shade 4 5 to sell 50,000 records 3 times on Bad Boy. Did you need Shade 45 to transition over to soft rock? Am I getting a little too real for you? I'm just letting you know. You're publicly making it all look like shit. Machine Gun Kelly's tarnishing his image by doing this, by even dissing Eminem. Do you like the fact that 40 million people saw you get dissed in one single day? Are you happy about that? Are you happy about the fact that you're starring in C-rated films with Bruce Willis? At this point of his career, you took that fucking role? What type of credibility do you have, man? Stick to the punk rock fake shit. Now, on the flip side, y'all are going to say, oh, but look at the black artists. They beef all the time, Mikey. 50 Cent beefs with everybody. Guys, it's because numbers don't lie. But people say stupid shit. But numbers don't really lie. Where a majority of people live, that's where the crimes will be committed, right? Numbers don't lie. But I say that to say this whole shit is dumb and I don't respect it. Everybody is looking at it from a perspective of what type of clout chasing shit is this? Because let's be real. This is not real beef. Who's going to die because of this beef? Tell me who. Nobody. Nobody, baby. Nobody. Nobody is going to die for this beef. It's WWF. It's WWE beef, basically. And I don't like it. And I don't like it because Millyz is obviously cooking MGK. He's cooking this guy. And you know what I mean? He's cooking him, man. And it's like MGK can't even keep up. He can't keep up. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be real. He can't keep up. Bro, Millyz is like Dave East compared to MGK. He's like Dave East compared to MGK, man. Appreciate y'all. Tap in. Hit that like button right now. I'm only spitting facts in here, you guys. I'm only spitting facts in here. I'm really wondering, I wonder what Eminem is thinking about this. Eminem is probably laughing like, yo, Millyz got it. Millyz got you. Eminem is probably just sitting back, taking a minute, probably checked out the Holy Water freestyle on Cosmic Kev, and he's like, yo, Millyz got this guy. I got him. Millyz got him right here. Everybody's just laughing at Machine Gun Kelly right now, man. You know, Eminem is probably laughing right along with everybody else, I got to imagine. And another thing, Mark Wahlberg. It was dope to see Mark Wahlberg actually drop the release date for Millyz's new project, Holy Water. And he's actually from the same area as him. Wow, this is interesting. So this project is called Holy Water. So is it basically Millyz's transition from the Blanco series? That's pretty dope, man. As I said, we've pretty much witnessed Millyz step by step. Some artists you get to witness step by step. You know what I mean? Other dudes will just pop up in front of you wearing a fucking Pink Floyd shirt talking about how they're rapping at the Apollo. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, we saw it all. You know, but I got to say, Mark Wahlberg showing Millyz love, that was something like, wow. To have Mark Wahlberg announce the release date for your project? I mean, what? He drops that on his social media? Do you realize that? The reach that Millyz is going on to have, I really appreciate Jadakiss for seeing the talent after they worked together a few times. You know what I mean? Because Jadakiss right there is the one that put the stamp on what Millyz calls high level rap. Jadakiss has always had that same type of rap. So when we get to hear Millyz, we get to see, something of that same caliber, man. And Millyz has really just taken it further. I don't want to say further than we expected because, superstardom is the key, you guys. But I just want to say that, Millyz, I think leaving Mass was the best thing for him. Going out to New York, as he said, he got an apartment in the Bronx. Coming out to New York, he just had so many opportunities. You know what I mean? And when he left Mass, people looked at him like he was unique. You know what I mean? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Sometimes the interest peaks when you leave. And on that note, you guys, I'm getting up out of here tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast, man. I wanted to come on here and talk about Gillie, talking with Cam and Mase about Juelz, the top 5 in Harlem. I wanted to give my thoughts on Max B as well as, the comparison of Juelz and Jay-Z. Also, Mase saying that Juelz was right there alongside him. And then, of course, Millyz just roasting the fuck out of MGK. Even though, I'm here for the entertainment aspects of it, I just want to send a message. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't feel like I'm doing justice for my voice in hip hop. You know what I mean? I really don't even think none of that shit should be going on. Millyz has reached a level of success that is amazing. Jack Harlow is thriving, and it just looks like Machine Gun Kelly's the one who's mad right now. Jumping on platforms, rapping and dissing these guys when legitimately he doesn't even rap no more. It's much more lucrative for him to make a love song or, what I mean, a song about, some of the events from his life and just sing it all the way through on some Goo Goo Doll shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm out of here, you guys. Whoever wants to follow me on the gram. It's Mikey T _ the movie star. Appreciate y'all, man. I'm out of here, man. I'm about to go smoke some weed and do some crazy exotic shit. You know how I do.